That's right, y'all. You are now rocking with the best. This is the Top 5 Dead or Alive podcast. Let's go.
No other show fucking with us.
They outclassed.
Find a better pod to check.
I doubt
They
that.
pale in comparison.
We can contrast.
Top 5 Dead or Alive.
Podcast.
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 Street disciple like Godson, hand on my rifle. By the window like Malcolm, scope on the title of the best podcast, let me remind you. T5DOA turn idols to rivals. Condition vital, competition for your survival. Best show on Apple, Spotify, and even Tidal. I'm liable, Ali about to make a killing when these average Joes budding. Oxen-free turns villain. Experience like Rogan when I'm spitting more than Millie worth a game of my expert opinion. No other show fucking with us.
They outclassed.
Find a better pod to check.
I doubt
They
that.
pale in comparison.
We can contrast.
Top 5 Dead or Alive.
Podcast.
Top 5 Dead or Alive.
Podcast.
Top 5 Dead or Alive.
Podcast.
Top 5 Dead or Alive.
Podcast. Peace to the planet, peace to the planet. What is up? This is Ali Oxenfree from the Top 5 Dead or Alive podcast. We're back for another one. Yes, we're back. I want to send a shout out to my boy Cali Rock. Like I said, hopefully we get him back on the show ASAP. Just trying to get the wheels rolling. Establish a workflow dynamic, get it, this whole thing like a well-oiled machine, so to speak. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Bear with me for a minute. I'm just trying to put my phone on airplane mode so nobody will call me during the show. That's not professional, right? You know what I mean? It's all good in the hood. I'm tripping. We're gonna talk all things hip hop today, you know what I mean? Get a little back into what the show was kind of originally started as, you know what I mean? That's not going to be the focus, of course, because I think at this point in time, you know, uh, it's a lot of things going on that's more than just hip hop, so to speak. You know what I mean? I want to talk about everything. I want to make it a huge conversation, to show that we, you know, Black people, uh, we're multifaceted. We're not a monolith. So it's a lot of things that's going on in the world that can use some discussion, you know, so to speak. I didn't even realize the day that we're filming is actually June 17th. I don't like to put dates on things, but this might come out maybe a week from now. I'm not even sure when I'm going to put it out. But yesterday was Tupac's born day, June 16th. I didn't even realize that. And the funny thing is, my wife, she actually noticed it. She was like, "You got on a Tupac t-shirt." And I had wore it yesterday on his born day, 1971. Wow. On his born day. And I didn't even realized it. Ain't that bug? So happy born day, heavenly born day to Tupac Shakur. It is a doc out. I think it's called Dear Mama. And from what I hear, it's good. I watched a little bit of it. I didn't watch the whole thing because I was like, he has it's a ton of Tupac docs out. I'm like, what's going to be so special with this one? When I saw it, it seems pretty interesting. I think it's on Hulu. I'll probably get back into it. Shout out to Tupac Shakur. I remember, before him hooking up with Death Row, that album, Me Against the World. I love that album. Actually, I have a list of favorite songs of all time. He happens to be on that list with his song, So Many Tears. I love that song. Um, it was a weird time in the 90s when he was going through it with Big, so to speak. And it's amazing that that whole run, I think I might have spoke on this in a previous podcast, but that whole run, that Death Row run from when he got shot at Quad Studios and hooked up with Suge and up to the point of his passing, that was like 11 months, which is so fascinating. And it's a testament to what could be done if you just streamline your time and just stay focused. People always say that, well, he must have knew that he was going to pass. And I think that's that right there was one of the reasons why I decided to start this show back. This is something I love. This is something I love to do. I love podcasting. Been into actually got into podcasting because um I love talk radio. I used to listen to Open Line all the time on when it was on, I think it was on Kiss FM. And then it went to WBLS, and that was with the late great Ntume, James Ntume, the late great, not the late great, Judge Bob Pickett, and I'm stumbling on the last brother. I'm embarrassed that I can't remember his name. I'll probably put his name up in it. Another radio personality who passed away as well. I used to love that show, Open Line. There used to be a bunch of shows on Sunday I used to listen to. I'm into conversation. You know what I mean? So when podcasting started becoming a thing on Apple, and I'm listening to like Joe Rogan and Juan Ep and Combat Jack, rest in peace, I got interested in it. So this is how, you know, sort of a origin story, I guess you could say. I just decided, this is like 2018. This is uh, before all the thousands of podcasts that's out. This is before all of them. You can go on YouTube and you can check and look at the timeline. This is years ago, years ago, years ago. Shout out to Juan App. Yeah. And like my boy Cal always say, he was like, yo, you was up on this way before a lot of people. Now, podcasting is like the rap game. Everybody's a podcaster. It's almost sickening to me. You know what I mean? I don't know, hating ish. But it's kind of like how rap is right now, is that most people are into it because it's a lick. It's the cool thing to do. It's a way to get money, I guess. It's a hustle. It's a lot of them. It's not the love. It's not the love for conversing, or discussing topics or anything like that. It's not like that for a lot of people. It's like that for me. I love talking. I love listening. I love learning. That's the main reason why I started the Top Five Dead or Alive podcast. But I don't want to toot my own horn. Like I said, we're gonna be talking about hip hop. I got a couple of interesting videos I want to share with you. And let me see if I can bring one up right quick. This I found. This is let me see. Hold on, guys. Bear with me. I'm trying to get this thing together. You know what I mean? I am my own producer right now. You know, this is from a real young geek I found. Battle rappers getting scared 16. It's hilarious though. Yeah, check check this out. Let me see if I check
Must
it
be
out.
out of your mind. Maybe that's why you ain't got custody of your kids. You was too busy swallowing mama.
This nigga scared. I'm up here. I got a good picture. I'm chilling out here with all my niggas and my niggas. This dude just pissed his pants. What the fuck? Oh shit. This nigga scared.
The day of machete spray is the day I give a fuck. I give a fuck. Then do it again because he ain't do nothing when I did it once.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're.
This nigga scared.
They about to make me lose it. I tapped in the box, they ain't gonna do shit.
This nigga scared.
I bet he thought that shit was crucial. You get stomping in this bitch like, I smell new shoes.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really.
This nigga scared.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. That's probably one of the reasons why um I didn't get into battle rap was number one, you put your hands on me, it's a problem. It's gonna be a problem. I'm sorry. I'm I've been raised, I'm cut from a different cloth. I don't like people touching me. I don't even like people playing with me. You know what I mean? Pushing me, shoving me, you know what I mean? Tapping on. I don't even like that, man. Once you put your hands on me, it's a wrap. You know what I mean? I don't claim to be some super thug or anything. I don't give a F about that, but I'm a man at the end of the day. And if you put your hands on me, and God forbid you best me at the moment, every time I see you, it's going to be furniture moving. I'm not going to be satisfied. You're not going to be pushing me. As soon as homie would have did that, I'm not built for that, man. I'm just not built for I can take verbal jousting and verbal sparring and all that. I could do that, man. That's cool. It's not, not something that I'm really into. I can do it if I was in a situation, but that that ain't for me. You know what I mean? Battle rapper, and I'm not. I watch it here and there, but I just never really got into it. Especially the newer form of battle rap, like the URL, Smack, and all that stuff, where it's acapella and they're, I grab the gun and I hold it up, smack you with parquet, now use a buttercup. Yeah, that it's cool. It's cool. And I watched one with Remy. Remy, she got like her own joint, and them girls, they be cutting deep. I prefer more so the old one, the old school one from like 106 in Park, where they play the beat and you rap to the beat. I prefer that in my, you know what I mean? For me, I prefer that. I like that. I want to hear somebody like, rap. You know what I'm saying? It's a rap battle. It's today's iteration is cool, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of like it's a poetry slam in my opinion. You know what I mean? To each his own. Different strokes for different folks. But yeah, you're not gonna nah. My motto is you make me feel uncomfortable, I'm gonna make you feel crazy. I'm from Brooklyn, y'all. This is how we move. Anyway, continue on top five Dead or Alive podcast. That was number 5, Battle Scrap. If you into it, let me know. Who's your favorite battle rapper? If y'all into battle rap, Who do y'all dig? Shout out to Math Hoffa. He has his, his, if you know about him, he fit right into that. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, um, chilling here on a Saturday. You know what I mean? In I call this the guest room studios. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Next up, I got oh yeah. Yeah, I wanted to talk about this as well. I seen this not too long ago. It's hip hop. This is courtesy of Hip Hop DX, and this is Method Man. He was on the Breakfast Club recently. Um, Shout out to Charlemagne and DJ Envy and the crew. And he was talking about his brother, Redman. Meth and Red, they go hand in hand. Do y'all remember the month of the man? Where the hip hop heads at? Do y'all remember month of the man? Do you know what month of the man is? Huh? Do y'all know? Hip hop is different now, man. I don't think people ain't really doing their history. You know what I'm saying? Um, month of the man, that was an amazing uh marketing ploy that they had back in the day. I think they was both signed to Def Jam. This is early in Meth's game, when he started branching out and coming into his own from the Wu. But this is what he had to say. Charlemagne asked him about what happened to Red on Power Book. I don't watch Power. I just never really got into it. I tried to. I watched Kanan a little bit. It was interesting. I watched the first season. You know what I'm saying? Because I heard it was talking about the low lives. Um, Low lives come from my part of town. I'm from Crown Heights, Brooklyn. Them dudes is from there and Brownsville, of course. Um, well, check out this video right quick.
The hell did they replace Redman with, like, as
really
your
wanna
brother? Yeah.
He wouldn't get the jab.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, at least that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Did I talk to Redman about it? No. We close. We don't like shit like that. Don't even need to be said.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But it happens. Yeah, he's not the first or the last person that'll probably happen to.
Mm-hmm.
But just to say that Redman, he made a decision, and I stick by whatever his decision was. If he feels that was best for him, I agree with him.
That's how you support your brother. I mean, that's how you support your brother. I know that the jab is a touchy subject. I recently watched an interview on Joe Rogan's podcast, Joe Rogan Experience, which you can find on Spotify, and he's talking to Robert Kennedy Jr. And Robert Kennedy Jr., of course, is the son of Robert Kennedy, who was the brother of John F. Kennedy Jr., who was a former president of the United States. I think Robert Kennedy Sr. was a senator. He might have been I don't know history too much, I'm afraid. I'm embarrassed to say. I think he was going to run for president as well. Both of them were murdered in mysterious ways. But in the interview, Robert Kennedy Jr. spoke about his father and his death, spoke about his uncle, what his beliefs to be on who killed him. And he talks a lot about the jab. He has a book out that I'm about to read. I'll probably put a picture of the book. And yeah, it's about Anthony Fauci. I know I'm straying away from the whole hip hop topic or whatever, but it's that interview was it's a little this government, man, that's all I'm gonna say. This government, freedom of speech ain't free, so I ain't gonna say too much about it because I'm trying to build this damn network. Get on the monetization side of the game because he did a lot of interviews that were up on YouTube and they took him down. And a lot of the information that he was given, I don't think were like lies or exaggerations, but when there's money to be made on certain things and you have excuse me. When there's money to be made on certain things and you have powerful entities in control of that, you know the rest. Anyway, yeah. I guess Red was like, F that jab, man. I don't need this money that much. And that's the rumor going around about Jamie. But who knows? Jamie Foxx, get well soon. But that's the rumor going around with Jamie, that he might have gotten the jab on set of whatever movie that he's filming. And I don't know who really knows, but he's been out of the limelight, out of the public's eye for a minute now. I mean, it's been a while. And I don't know. But that jab, it's a weird thing that they were forcing people to get something in your, like literally. I'm like, this is the United States of America, and you got to basically threaten people's livelihoods to get something injected inside of them that wasn't thoroughly tested. You know what? Just check out that interview, Joe Rogan podcast with Robert Kennedy Jr. and it's a mind blower. Yeah, but shout out to Redman for sticking to his guns and staying on his morals, his principles, man, because it's your life, man. Like I said, you're incarnated into your avatar. You're supposed to do what your avatar, what you see fit. And there's individuals who they want to control your avatar. They want to control your body. You know what I mean? Your body. It's crazy. Speaking of going back to Tupac real quick, like I say, happy born day to Tupac Amaru Shakur, who's originally from New York City, I think in Harlem. I think he was born in Harlem, if I'm not mistaken. That's where I was born. I'm Brooklyn all day, of course, but a lot of those you don't know a little history. Tupac's original rap name was what? MC New York. West Side. Ain't that ironic? His name was MC New York, which is bugged out. You know what I mean? Of course, I'm sure he had, a love for the town, for the city. But he got caught up in some BS, man. Him and Big should still be here, man. They're gone too soon. 25, 26 years old when they pass. So like I said, this next video I'm about to show was Busy Bone. Busy Bone. He was giving his story about he had a solo song that he wanted to do with Pac. So one of his homegirls set it up, and of course Pac worked with them and Big. I think more than once. I think he did more than one song with them, if I'm not mistaken, with Bone Thugs and Harmony. Check this out.
My solo song to be with Tupac. So I got in touch with my homegirl, Silky Fine. So she gets in touch with Suge, and she tells Suge, look, my homeboy Busy Bone, he want to do a song with Pac. I got the Hennessy set out ready, because I knew he liked that. He get into the studio, like, yo, what's good? You know what I'm saying? It's about time that we made this shit happen. He like, fuck yeah, let's get it, let's go. So beat turn on. He like, oh, that shit, boom, boom. He like, oh shit, this is nice. I'm like, hell yeah. So he immediately started writing this shit, tightening my shit. Be like, I'm done, I'm ready. Said, you ready? He was like, I'm ready. Man, he was out of the studio so goddamn fast. Took him as long as it took for the rap in order to finish it. It was Silky Fine on the record. I did 2 verses and Pac did a verse. After the song was complete, I turned it in. This is my solo song. When the song came out, so I listened to it. It was no longer my solo song. It became a Bone song. My homeboy looked at me, was like, well, you all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. You know, it's a business decision and it was the smartest thing to do. But they took Silky Fine off the record. That hurt me more than anything else because she worked her ass off in order to make this shit happen.
That's how it be, man. That's how it be sometimes. In the music business, man. You look what they did with on Pac's album. The song that he got with I think it's Redman on there. I think Meth. I can't remember the song. And Inspector Deck was supposed to be on there. And I think that song originally was supposed to be Dad's song, but they gave it to Pac when he came home. And I guess the story was something to the effect that Inspector Deck verse was at the end and it was too long or something and it was going off. And so they kind of like cut it. You know what I mean? And that's why you hear him at the end like, INS the rebel. This. He's like saying little ad-lib parts, whatever. But I think you could find like the whole song in its entirety on YouTube somewhere. But yeah, a lot of times when you're doing songs, sometimes when it's a collaboration, some people might make the cut, some people might not. But I feel, you could tell that it really hurt Busy because it was his homeboy, his homegirl that set the whole thing up. And, she got taken off the song. Could you imagine how she felt? You know what I'm saying? I'm working with Pac. I'm working with Busy. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be a big record. Come out. She not on it. So salute to that young lady for her contribution to this jam that we call hip hop. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to keep it moving. Number 2, we're going to talk about Jay-Z, one of my favorite rappers of all time, representing BK to the fullest. Got to pull it. This was an interesting story that I never really thought about. You know what I mean? Because remember when Jay was doing the whole Reebok thing? Him and 50, they had the sneakers, the G-Unit joints, the S. Carter sneakers and whatnot. I never really thought about like that collaboration thing because when you think about it, Jay kind of came up with Irv. They were homies. You know what I mean? Remember when they were supposed to do the whole Jay, DMX, and Ja situation, the murder joint? It's murder. That joint, which would have been interesting if they would have did like that whole 3-man collaboration thing. But it never happened. Who knows where that went? I would have loved to know where the commissioner would have went. Big, Jay, Charlie Baltimore. I think there was somebody else that was supposed to be down with them. That would have been epic as well. But found the video courtesy of QB_NYC. It's a repost from Hip Hop DX, featuring Chris Gotti, who is Irv Gotti's brother. And he speaks on Jay-Z using 50 Cent to spite Irv Gotti over recruiting Nas. And when he break it down, it makes you go, oh, that makes sense. Check it out.
Steve Stout was saying, sign Nas to Murder Inc. Why don't y'all bring him over there? This and that. He's a Queens. Let's do it. We all with each other. But I was like, we got to talk to Jay. They beef. This is back when they was beefing. And Irv's like, yeah, I know we got it. So we called Jay, go to Baseline Studios. But Irv say, you know, it's good business. It's we're gonna make a lot of money. Da, da, da. And Jay looking at the nigga like, you nigga, you wanna with my enemy, like, and I'm looking at Irv like, what are you crazy? Are you crazy? Steve Stout was crazy. Irv is thinking only business.
Yeah.
And he said, y'all don't really got no real beef. And Jay said, you right. He said, and the Irv turned to me and said, I told you. He's like, I told you. I said, I'm looking at Irv like, he's just saying that.
You could understand why, though.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But right after that, what did Jay do? He went on tour with 50 Cent. He did his sneaker with 50 Cent. They doing commercials with 50 Cent. And he came back to Irv and said, it's good business.
No!
You crazy.
You know what that's called? Chess, not checkers. That's called chess, not checkers. When you're playing chess, they move, you look at the board, and you look several steps ahead. You move the piece, and you say checkmate. Could you imagine how Irv must have felt? Because in his mind, he's thinking business. Jay is about that business life, but, you know, if y'all coming up together, that don't really, you know what I mean? Because they're beefing at the time. You know what I mean? Jay and Nas was, you know, they beefing. They ain't where they are today. There wasn't no Black Republican song out there. By the way, Jay and Nas, when they do collaborations, I'm not impressed. And they're both my favorite rappers. Jay and Big made beautiful collaboration. Jay and Nas, not so much, in my opinion. Not so much. But anyway, yeah, that's crazy, yo. That's freaking crazy. And I never thought about that. I was like, wow, they did do, so he did do work with 50. And of course, you know, the beef between Murder Inc. and G Unit, that's epic. I mean, fights happen, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. These dudes don't mess with each other to this day, you know what I'm saying? Which is bananas. You guys is moving into 50 and y'all, well, no pun intended, y'all moving into 50 years, 50 years old, you know what I mean? And y'all still beefing. It's wild crazy, you know what I mean? But I guess not all beefs are supposed to be salvaged or can be salvaged. I don't know. It would be I think that would be a dope look for hip hop. If Summer Jam came on, if in Summer Jam you saw 50 performing and all of a sudden you just see Ja walk out and they shake hands and, you know, start rocking together, you know what I'm saying, on some Queen shit. I think that would be epic, but, you know, wishful thinking on my part, I guess. But I think that would be beautiful, man. I don't think that's ever gonna happen. I could dream, right? Ill ass story. Top 5 Dead or Alive podcast, top 5 Dead or Alive. You know what? We're gonna take a quick commercial break. Now a word from our sponsors.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Yo, it's Dynamite, y'all. Kicking the kids, y'all. DJ Spin on the track like this is where the story begins. DJ Spin cuts like the wind when I'm here controlling the pen. Never bowling, he be holding it in. With the frost fader, he's the boss player. Snatch his soul when he spins, let our foes come in. We don't back down from a track. In the background is my homegirl Jen, aka Jeannie, the beat girl when you see she moving to the beat, windmill super speedy, fast like a bullet past you. If she had to, don't get it gas you. She's the flash when she pass you. The Jazzy, they call her the pop lock. Strong like a knock, she'll knock you out your socks hops. Her dreadlocks will leave you dazed as the beat plays. She will amaze, try and step in, you get played. Center stage, you ain't afraid in the battle. My boy Arrow will wear you out like an apparel. Weathers paint a mark of my dude, he's getting at you. Cold can't control, leave you frozen like a statue. Last but not least, in all my splendor, I make them see hit the road just like a fender. I'm coming for the summers, I murdered them up in June. Like a Biggie tune, black suits fill the room. Check out the best rapper, I bet you I do him. Like the B movie, you act as I ruin. Kicking the kids, you dig, that's the name. We here to save the day, the superheroes of the game. Yeah. K-I-K.
All right, we're back. Top 5 Dead or Alive, Top 5 DOA Podcast. Find us on YouTube. Go up there, type in Top 5 Dead or Alive Podcast. You're going to see a little insignia. Tap on it, because there's other podcasts out there that call themselves Top 5 Dead or Alive. Like this one that says Top 5 Dead or Alive. Salute to them. No disrespect, but this is the original. It's 2018, my dude. We've been here. You know what I mean? And we're going to stay. We're here to stay. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back like a spine. Continuing on in the celebration of hip hop. Hip hop is about to be 50 years old. This is a baby genre. Even though it's 50 years old, it's a baby genre. I want to say to hip hop, you got to keep in mind hip hop is it's more than just rap music. This is a lifestyle. This is a culture. This is a way of life. It's a religion. You know, it's something I personally love. I wrote a book about it with my boy Cali Rock. Hip hop ain't something you do. It's something it ain't. It's something you live. It's you are hip hop. You know what I mean? It's not just picking up a mic and rapping. And I think a lot of the young cats nowadays, that's all they associate hip hop to be. You know what I mean? It's also the ones and twos. It's also grabbing that can and going outside and telling the city your name. It's also the fashion. It's also that lost art of b-boying. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, a lot of us ain't continuing on those traditions. You know what I mean? We need we need griots in the village to like really pass on the knowledge of what this here culture is. It's coming up on 50 years. It's something that started in my city, up in the Bronx, where the people was fresh. There was one DJ who could pass the test, and he's down by law, and he's ready to say, "That's right, y'all. His name is AJ." That's the first rap, believe it or not, that I've ever learned. You know what I mean? And I think I memorized that as a kid because he said, "That's right, y'all. His name is AJ." And I'm like, "Oh, snap. That's my initials. Ali Jerome." So that's one of the things that made me fall in love with this thing called hip hop and continuing on the tradition of passing it on to the youth. This is a great segue. Rest in peace to the late, great Earl Simmons, aka Dark Man X. I want to show you a tribute from his son, Young Exodus. And this one, it's really touched my heart. Salute to the young man. Check it out.
Today I'm gonna play the Rough Riders anthem, and this is how it goes.
Awesome. Awesome. Salute to Young Exodus. Salute to all DMX's kids, his family, all his friends, all his fans. I'm a fan as well. I'm sorry I didn't get to see him perform. I went to a concert many years ago. Shout out to my boy Just Boogie. He had extra tickets to a concert that they was having. It was a concert with a bunch of different artists, you know, a lot of them from the 90s at Radio City Music Hall. And, you know, the Lox was there, a bunch of people. And he was supposed to perform. And I think he had got arrested. You know what I mean? The cops was there for something unrelated. I don't know what it was, but he wasn't able to perform. And man, I was pissed, man. I always wanted to see X perform. He was one of my favorites, man. He kind of reminded me of kind of like a East Coast Tupac, man. One of the greatest ever. He is truly missed. You know what I mean? Truly missed, man. So on that note, I want to bid you to do my love letter to hip hop. 50 years. You know what I mean? Hopefully it lasts 50 more and 50 more after that. The most popular genre to this date. I'm trying to. My goal is to give my contribution to this jam as well. But on that note, I want to say peace. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please, please pass the word. You know what I mean? If you see this, if you F's with me, repost, man. It's free. Repost, yo. I'm the type of dude, yo. I repost stuff that don't have nothing to do with me, that I'm not making a dime of, that I'm not a part of. I do that for friends, families, and strangers. So if you dig what I'm doing, repost. It's free. You ain't got to pay me. Yes, I'll put up my Cash App. Yeah, I'll put my Cash App up. I'll take donations as well. You know what I mean? Because you know, everything costs. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to build this up and have more shows and more great conversation. But on that note, like I said, T5DOA Podcast. I am your boy Ali Oxenfree. Peace.